I like to invite, before telling this pattern, to explain it and to give a small Dhamma talk. I invite our meditation master of the Washington Buddhist Vihara, Venerable Pannawansa. Please say sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Venerable Nayaka Thero and all the members of the Mahasangha, dear brothers and sisters, children, friends. So we are nearing the completion of this great ceremony. Then Bhante Dhammasiri wants me to explain a little bit about, he always said sweet and short. So I wish sweet and short. So Katina, Buddha, after his first sermon, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, he advised to all the monks, O bhikkhu, go forth for the happiness of many, for the good of many. Then monks went around India by preaching, teaching meditation, preaching Dharma. Then later, during the rainy season, it was hard for monks to travel. Then Buddha advised them to stay in the rainy season in a temple or in a place where they can practice. And this is really not only this reason. Another thing is that Buddha wanted his disciples to practice more, staying in one place. Then the Katina ceremony is in Buddhist countries is so popular. We can remember as children, we enjoyed going to the temple every evening with flowers to offer to Buddha and listening to chanting and preaching to the monks and advice. This is entirely spiritual 3 months, of course, in village life. Then this way people and Sangha, some people think Sangha is big, only monks. No. Sangha, there are 4 parts. Bhikkhu, Bhikkhuni, Upasaka, Upasika. So you all, you are real practitioners, you belong to Sangha. Then the Bhikkhu, monk is the male, and Bhikkhuni is the female, and then Upasaka, Upasika also, male and female practitioners. Then Sangha, all these 4 kinds of people belong to Sangha. Especially bhikkhus were advised to stay in the temple. And during this period, the very important thing is that it's a mutual beneficial time for lay people as well as monks and nuns. Then is in a very reciprocal way, they have a connection. That other times during this rainy season, people usually come to the temple and they provide with everything monks need, and also monks advise them. At the same time, monks practice more than the other periods and study. And you as monks, we know, when we get the monks who do not belong to our families, when we became, as children, we became monks, we had to live. And we have to live with people who do not belong to us, belong to our families. It is a very wonderful life. We learn a lot. Sometimes we have to suffer too, but still, all these things encourage to us to go on our spiritual path. Then during this period, there are three things very important in Buddhism. Dana, Sila, Bhavana. Dana is the generosity. What you do? You are always generous. Then generosity is giving. At the same time, we all have to understand that one day we have to leave everything. Therefore, we have to give and we have to give up. We have to learn how to give and how to give up. Then this is a very good practice to give. In Buddhist countries, if you go, you can see how generous people are. So this is very important for the peaceful existence of the society. In a way, we all have to give and all have to receive. We all are receiving. We all are receivers. And all are givers. We all are giving. Sometimes without our knowledge we give. Then giving and receiving is very important. And it helps us to improve our spiritual path, spiritual life. And second thing is Sila is the virtue. Sila. The 5 precepts, usually the Buddhist lay people observe 5 precepts. And we have sometimes programs for English speaking people 8 precepts a day. And for Sinhala speaking people 8 precepts a day. Then we practice 8 precepts and more than 5 precepts sometimes. Then 5 precepts. The basis of a simple, harmonious life. Then if people practice 5 precepts, that helps us to be peaceful and finally we can be very spiritual. I give you one example I have already mentioned in one of my talks. In Sri Lanka, I met a carpenter whose son was dying. The doctor said we cannot do anything. He was in the hospital. So, no hope. You know what the father did? He learned that there was a Catholic priest who was healing people. Then he went to him. The Catholic father, that's the important thing, this story. He said, you are Buddhist. So, you take one precept out of these 5 and determine not to break in this lifetime. And by this determination, you keep your hand, put your hand on the face of the child. Child is today living. So, the precepts, anyone has to have some kind of basic principles in her or his life. So these basic principles, these are not only words, they have more value than sometimes we think. So that boy is still living. I met the father. Then I went to see this father, Catholic father also. Then I saw how the father was talking to me for nearly 1 hour. He didn't use the word God. He used universal power. Then the second thing is virtue. Everybody has to have kind of virtue, kind of basic principles in their life, in this or that life. And third thing is most important, the bhavana. Bhavana is meditation. As I have mentioned many times, bhavana, meditation and medicine come from the same language root. It means bhavana is a therapy, meditation is a therapy. Language root in many languages, French, English, Italian, German. In these languages, the both words come from the same language root. It means our ancestors knew that meditation was a therapy. It's very important. And also we think that we are wiser than our ancestors, but it is not the case. Our ancestors were wiser than us. It's true. Then, during this Vasana period, the rainy season period, monks sacrifice most of their time for meditation. Meditation, for your final liberation, you need. It's indispensable. Meditation is indispensable. You have to meditate. Dana is so important. Sila is important. Generosity is important. Virtues are important. But meditation is indispensable. It's essential. Then another thing, there are three things. Sati, Samadhi, Panya. Sati, this is a word, untranslatable word used by Buddha. Sati. In some languages there are no equivalent for this word. Sati is not thinking. You are mindfully aware. In other words, you are always living in the present. This is very important. When you practice meditation, you should be in the present moment. Gate, Pite, Nisinne, Supte, Jagare, etc. Buddha has advised us to, when we walk, we have to be in the present. When we stand, we have to be in the present. So this cannot be, of course, understood intellectually. You can learn it by books, but you don't understand it. You don't realize it. If you practice this, living in the present moment, you will see present moment is timeless. It's not time. This is very important thing. I repeat it. Present moment is not time. It's timeless. Of course, our Western friends have understood this. One, a scientist who lived in Austria, Erwin Schrödinger, all of you know, have heard his name. He says, there is only eternally and always, there is only now. One and the immutable now. And the now is the only thing that has no end. I repeat it. Eternally and always there is only now. Now is the only thing, immutable and one and immutable now. Now is the only thing that has no end. This is very important. In other words, as long as you allow time to intervene in your life, survival of suffering is possible. Time means here past or future. Our normal man's life is that. We are afraid of coming to the present. We go back to the past or to the future. This timeless moment, you don't make use of it. You don't enjoy the present moment, usually. Usually we go to the past and we hang on to our sufferings. Endless sufferings, we are thinking of that. As long as you are thinking of the past, you suffer. Everyone, of course, have to complain things. I have been cheated, I have been betrayed, stolen, things like that. But our life is short. We have no time to hang on to all these things. So we should indispensably come to the present moment. And you stay and you see that, you can see how different it is. Then future, it has not yet come. Past is gone. So why should we suffer? Once a Brahmin comes to Buddha and asks, it's wonderful, your monks, your disciples are eating only once a day. Those days only once they were eating. And still, they pleasing to see them. They are all smiling. Then how is it possible? He asked the Brahmin. Buddha says, my students, my disciples have no past worries to think of. And also no future projects, programs. They are living in the here and in the now. So then, sati, and with sati there is another word that goes silent. Buddha is called Sakya Muni. Muni is silent person. And when we are really silent, our inner capacity, inner potentiality starts working. So our real nature is covered. Pabassaramidam vikkave cittang panchako agantuke upakkilese upakkilita. This mind is luminous, but it is covered with outside defilements. So through meditation what we do is to clean it. When we are in the present moment, when we are in silence, it cleans itself. You have nothing, no thing to do, no work to do. You just sit in the present, in silence. It works itself. This is the way. So sati, then samadhi, concentration, then one day wisdom, Anya or prajna or wisdom, transcendental wisdom arises itself. This is the Buddhist path. So during this Katina time, or Vassana time, monks have more time to practice, and lay people also, because they are more connected than other time with monks and the temple. They come here. I saw many people with Mr. Veerapan and his wife, and many of them came here and cleaning the temple, do a lot of work. As Bhante Dhammasiri Nayaka mentioned, in front of the temple and behind, you can see how beautiful it is. Of course, Bhante Maharagama guided all these things. And by doing all these things, you accumulated a lot of energies. So this time, the Katina Vassana time is very precious. That's why it is called Katina. This ceremony is called Katina. Katina is firmness, firm or solid. So the merits, the positive energies that we accumulate by doing these things are really solid. Then today, you are so lucky to have been able to participate in this great ceremony, which is called Katina ceremony. In every temple in our country, in this month, there are Katina ceremonies. So beautiful. All the villagers get together. The collective mindedness improves, grows in this time, this period. So no one is alone. These are very important. You know, in Western society, a lot of people suffer from solitude, the loneliness. So these kind of ceremonies help us to not to be alone. We all are interconnected. According to Buddhism, we all are interconnected. No one can be separated. Even if you want to be separated from others, no, you cannot. We all are interconnected. We are living in an interconnected world. So we have to be, if I do something to others, that you are doing the same thing to you, because we are not separated. We are not separate. So we do good not only for us, but for others. Finally, all the humanity and to the universe. Then today, all the monks, we are very happy to be here. And also I have to say, this Vassana time, and not only that, in a temple life, you may not understand perhaps how joyful this life is. Really we are happy. We have very simple, but a very rich life. We smile very easily. Sometimes our Nayaka will put jokes, very interesting. So we would share all these things. This is a very beautiful life. So this beautiful life, even some of you may not be able to imagine how beautiful this life of monks in a temple, especially in this time, this period, Vasan period. So then we all are thankful to you because you are sustaining, you are maintaining the temple. You are offering the things which are necessary for our survival. Then we all are thankful to you. We express our gratitude. And now I hope you may have understood what you are doing. Then I offer the microphone to the Bhante Dhammasiri.